Hey everyone, day 36. We're on the home stretch, people. Tomorrow is Thursday, and then we have Friday, and then you have Monday off, no school on Monday, and then a 4-day week, and a 5-day week, and then that's it. Then we wrap it up with some, giving away, giving you back your stuff from school, I think. So here we are. We're on the home stretch. Today is, like I said, day 36. It's kind of more of the same. This week's all been kind of the same, so it's been hard to determine which day it is, but it is Thursday. And the quote comes today from an author named Louis L'Amour. And Louis L'Amour is a very prolific Western author. He's written 89 novels. In fact, he's actually over 100 with his pieces of writing, but some are short stories and there's one nonfiction. So the guy is like insanely popular and has written so much and published so much. But he's an old school. I grew up with my buddy's friend having a whole shelf full of Louis L'Amour. I've never read them. I don't really like westerns, so I'm not drawn to it. But it's hard to argue with a guy that successful. He says, "I think of myself in the oral tradition as a troubadour, a village tale teller, the man in the shadows of the campfire. That's the way I'd like to be remembered, as a storyteller, a good storyteller." And that's what we're getting at. Is this isn't just the final project is not just you sitting there telling a story. It's telling a story like a storyteller, which is using all the things that you've been given this year to help you increase your ability to use language. So the agenda is same as has been all week. More storytelling. It's also giving you time for catch-up work. Again, your final draft of the pithy article. Not doing so great on that in terms of the 8th grade. I would say it's less than half of you have turned that in. So less than half of you could get it in on time. Not great. The FACS ELA cultural meal presentation, still running pretty low on numbers, but we're getting there. Epic poem from day 16. Still, people haven't gotten that in, and we're watching the previous Moth storytellers if you're behind for this week because they're good examples. You don't have to watch every one of them, and honestly, each assignment's worth 1 point, but there's value in seeing storytellers. That's what we are. We're storytellers. No school on Monday. It is Memorial Day. And on the side note, with Memorial Day, there's Memorial Day is usually reserved for veterans, people who have passed in defense of our country. I really think you should think about this Memorial Day as including grocery store workers, delivery people, frontline workers in hospitals and clinics. Those people are sacrificing for the greater good. So make sure you take a note of anyone who's been providing a service for you during this time, or your family, or just in general. Might be, if you see them, say thank you. It's a big deal. So what are we heading towards? We're heading towards a story slam. It is a live performance, meaning they're imperfect, and that's okay. But we will do some prep for that. And I promise you won't be in front of everyone. It is a nonfiction story. You're going to be adding details and language that makes something small or big interesting. And you're not memorizing, but you will be performing, and you're going to prepare. So the two stories today I think are really good ones. The first one is from a guy named Colin Ryan, and he tells the story of his first day of school. And he's kind of a different kid. You can see by the title, Juggling in Jesus. I'll just leave it at that. But this kid is, or when he was a kid, his first day was a really unique test of his identity and also of the strength of his classmates. So it's one day, the first day of school, way back when, but it has a lot of value. And then the second story is from a gentleman named Ashok Ramasubramanian. And I'm not sure I said that right, but what he does is he tells a really interesting story about a Kit Kat. Yeah, I'm serious. Like, he's up on stage and he tells a story about a Kit Kat, but it's a funny story and it actually has a lot of meaning. I would say it's probably more of a cathartic story. You'll know what I mean when you get to the end. It has, there's an emotion involved. And that's the thing about these stories is both of them are very small and they're like very compact. They're one moment in time in a very short moment. but I think that you'll see that it mattered to both of these individuals, and anything can be a good story if it has value to you. So I will let you watch those and answer the discussion question. And I love reading your discussion responses. Those of you that have been keeping up, phenomenal. Those of you that haven't, don't worry, jump in. If you did one out of these 5 days, you would still get something out of it. So please keep going. Today, get your pithy article done. If you're not done with that, your facts ELA should be like on your mind to get done. And then make sure your epic poem is done. Some of you haven't turned it in still. And then watch at least 2 of the Moth Storytellers and respond to the discussion question. And I want to keep pointing out a couple things. You can listen to the Moth Storytellers while you do your math. So if you think about you doing your LA, you could be listening to the one story of Colin Ryan or Ashok, and you could be working on your math and doing 2 birds with 1 stone. You can do that all week. You could listen to the storytellers for 2 days straight and do all your other work, and you'd still be preparing for ELA. So hang in there. Keep the fight. Let's finish strong. If you haven't been showing up, show up. I'm here to help you. I'm here to guide you to the end, people. This is important. It's got to be a win. All right. So hang in there, and I'll see you tomorrow.